Hello and welcome to the sun setting a little now in Portimão for the first round of the Hoosier Formula Cup. And you join us live here watching the cars leaving the pit lane ready to go racing for the first race in Portimão. Sun is shining, has been shining for much of the day. Pit lane is now closed. The 5-minute board has been shown on the grid. And that means that all the drivers need to know that it's 5 minutes until we get the formation lap underway. My name is Claire Cottingham. Down on the grid will be Chris Stevens. Hopefully they're in time to have a chat with maybe Hugh Barta, who starts on pole position. The first race for these guys this weekend. It is their third round of the Ultimate Formula Cup. And we've seen the rookies dominating so far in this championship, which has been wonderful to see. That's Solian Amrouche, who will line up fifth on the grid. We have got one car missing, unfortunately. We have not got Aaron Ferrazzano starting this race. He was due to start in the top 10. Let me just have a quick look. My apologies, as the starting grid has changed slightly, but he was due to start third on the grid and unfortunately won't be joining us this weekend, or today rather. I'm not sure if he'll be back tomorrow. I'm sure we'll find out. Race 2 will get underway tomorrow afternoon, but it's all eyes on race 1 for now, with Hugh Barta on pole position after setting some blistering times out there around this very warm track tucked away in the Algarve in Portugal. And the hottest of the days for the weekend, so lots for these drivers to be contending with. The air temperature is pretty warm out there. 3-minute board then being shown. Hugh Barta on pole position, Nano Lopez alongside him. As you can see, the 3-minute board there, and that is the Winfield Racing driver, Hugh Barta, the Australian, setting, like I said, very fast laps of a 1:42.7 compared to Nano Lopez, who set a 1:43.3 to sit second on the grid. So Hugh Barta getting quite a fast time there on him, and he is leading the championship as it stands at the moment. And overall, as well as rookies, Hugh Barta leads the way with 4 wins, a third place and a second place. Nano Lopez, 2 wins, 2 second places and 2 thirds. And Dylan Estra, who is still in the championship fight with no wins yet, but 3 second places, 2 thirds and a 4th place. And when he wasn't on the podium, it was Aaron Ferrazzano who managed to pick up that podium in the final race at Paul Ricard. 156 points from Nano Lopez's 144 and Dylan Estra on 129. Right, 1-minute board is being shown. The grid will get cleared and engines will start rumbling, and the formation lap will get underway very shortly. Everyone gets cleared off the grid, including the final engineers. And there seems to be someone running to move a little bit of debris. That there is Nano Lopez. And he starts second on the grid. And the final people coming off the grid now, and the formation lap will get underway very shortly. It'll be a 20-minute race in the Hoosier Formula Cup. And it is the first race of 3 here at the Autodrome International Algarve. And the formation lap getting underway. Pretty sharpish. So the grid will line up like this. Hugh Barta on pole position. Nano Lopez then second alongside him. Behind them, Dylan Estra moves up a place to third. Matteo Valente in fourth. Solian Amrouche, a good qualifying session for her, despite a few issues out there during qualifying, a couple of spins here and there. as they make their way around the famous hairpin at turn 5. Starts 5th. In the top of the gentleman is Laurent Vittich. Craig McClatchy starts in 7th place. Good qualifying session from the Australian, who has had a season a bit marred with issues. And it's good to see a solid performance from him, considering so far he's had no points. This is the grid then. So Hugh Barta alongside Nano Lopez. Dylan Estre in 3rd, Matteo Valente 4th, Solian Amrouche is 5th, and 6th is Laurent Vittich. And then it's Craig McClatchy, as I was just mentioning there. Walter Rijkaard, Gilles de Pierre, Frédéric Boileau, Alain Boucher, and Thierry Malon. And then at the back we have Philip Darrick and Frédéric Moriem. And it'll be interesting to see if he's on the grid. And I didn't actually quite see because he didn't set the time in qualifying. So is he on the grid? That's a good question. And the timing screen says he is, car number 49 in the rear. So yes, it looks like he should be on the grid. Not sure what happened there during his qualifying session then, but now back out and ready to compete, albeit at the back of the grid. So it's 6 rookies at the front, with Barta, Lopez, Estre, Valente, and Amrouche. And they are rounding up the top 5. Top of the gentleman is Laurent Vittich, followed by Craig McClatchy and Walter Rijkaard. So we will go racing very shortly. It's short little breeze out there at the moment. That might cause a few issues out there. Hopefully we will see some good racing, though, around this beautiful circuit. 15 turns. And the undulation, of course, very high at this track. As the final cars then slot in, and we are ready to go racing for the first time this season at the Autodrome International Algarve for the Hoosier Formula Cup. Race 1 due to get underway very shortly. It's Hugh Barta on pole position, alongside him Nano Lopez, Dylan Estre, then in 3rd, 4th Matteo Valente. Green flag is shown at the back. Keep your eyes on car number 22. Let's see what start Hugh Barta can have alongside Nano Lopez. And all the lights are off, and we're going racing then in Portugal. And as you can see there, it was a good start already from Hugh Barta. Takes the lead very quickly into turn 1. There's a battle behind between Dylan Estre and Nano Lopez. It looks like Nano Lopez may have got his nose just a little bit in front at turn 1. We'll have to see how it shakes up as we go into turn 2. Nano Lopez actually dropped now down to 3rd, and it's Dylan Estre who's got himself back up to 2nd. Behind that is Matteo Valente, and Solian Amrouche remains in 5th. Gilles de Pierre there fighting as well for 9th and 8th position. They come around turn 5. Nano Lopez dives around the inside of turn 5 and pushes Dylan Estre a little bit wide, and actually might have to give that back, but side by side are the two. Nano Lopez taking the way round, the longer way round there. Not going to be able to do it there. Dylan Estre then slots back into 2nd place as they just dive behind the hill, and Nano Lopez looking very racy out there. Dylan Estre is under pressure once again into the left-hander, and they could be touching at this point. Oh, good move from Nano Lopez up the inside and catches Dylan Estre, almost napping. Brilliant work then from Nano Lopez, who manages to get himself up to 2nd. So the battle continues. Doesn't look like this fight's over just yet. Dylan Estre, there's a safety car out. So all will have to slow down a little bit now, which is a shame because we were about to see this battle between Dylan Estre and Nano Lopez really heat up. Safety car is out, full course safety car, meaning everyone has to slow down and be behind. That's Thierry Malon going very slowly. And suspension looks like there's an issue there. That looks to be, I think, car 68, which is Alain Boucher, who seems to have spun. And I would assume it's maybe between Thierry Malm and Gilles de Pierre then. Full course, that's Thierry Malm, who's found himself a place to park the car, probably not where he particularly wanted to. Safety car then out to neutralise the race a little bit. Hugh Barta will be probably pretty furious at that because he's managed to get quite a good lead. And now has to have Nano Lopez, who seemed to be on a bit of a charge, right behind him. So coming around turn 5 again is the pack, very close at the moment, as they've all bunched up together behind the safety car. So where are we at the moment? Hugh Barta leads the way from Nano Lopez. Dylan Estra in third. Matteo Valente in fourth. Laurent Vutic in fifth. Solian Amrouche remains sixth. Craig McClatchy seventh. Walter Rijkaard is in eighth at the moment, and Gilles Depierre in ninth. And rounding up the top 10 is Frederic Boileau. So we are still under safety car conditions at the moment. We have lost, I'm afraid. It doesn't look like, even though Frederic Morin was classified, it looks like he's a DS, so didn't start. Thierry Malholm is seemingly out of this race, as well as Alain Boucher. And the remaining 11 cars will stay out there. Alain Boucher actually got back going again, because he's just come through the third sector. Thierry Malholm, however, has stopped somewhere around the first sector, probably around just before you get to turn 5, I think he is, around there. So don't suspect this safety car will be out much longer. Haven't actually seen if the lights have come off yet. And it should tell us if the safety car will be in this lap. Safety car lights still on as it stands. You would suspect they will probably get turned off. Incident turn 3 has been noted by race control, and that was the incident between Thierry Malholm and Alain Boucher. So I would suspect that the safety car will come in this lap, because there's nothing else really to clear out there. Thierry Malholm moved the car on his own and put it in a safe position. That's up to race control to decide if it is a safe condition. And Alain Boucher seems to have got going again. So I'd be surprised if we see much longer of this safety car. Safety car is in this lap. It's like they read my mind. Heading round then to turn 5, and they will do one more half lap under the safety car, or 10 corners rather. The safety car will peel in and we'll go racing again. So Hugh Barta will hold up the pack a little bit, and he'll decide when to launch and get these cars back underway running. So the safety car came out because of the issue, or the contact that we didn't see, between Thierry Malholm and Alain Boucher. And Alain Boucher is still out there, but unfortunately car number 33 has retired and currently sitting at turn 5 watching this from the sidelines. So with 14 minutes left on the clock, the safety car will peel in. They're just making their way around the final few corners before we go racing again. So Hugh Barta will pull away, and it looks like he does there, and we're racing again in Portimão as we go around the final corner onto the start-finish straight. Hugh Barta has managed to really pull out immediately there, caught Nano Lopez napping almost, and immediately pulls out quite an impressive lead as we come across the line. Hugh Barta then leading Nano Lopez from Dylan Estra, already pulling that gap out between the two at the front, and Nano Lopez having to defend now a little bit from Dylan Estra. At the back there, Craig McClatchy looked a little bit out of shape with Walter Rijkaard behind him. Oh, there was a bit of a near miss there from Matteo Valente, who slid just slightly there, but managed to hold on to it. Coming around turn 5, does the pack. Hugh Barta from Nano Lopez, Dylan Estra, Matteo Valente, Laurent Vutic. Up towards the kink at turn 6. And round to 7 and 8. Soliane Amrouche there, having a good race at the moment, still sitting 6th where she started. So, Barta with a bit of fresh air there is setting a fastest first sector. And down in the second sector, it doesn't really matter with the timing so much here, just interesting to see how much she's pushing. Dylan Estra dropping back a little bit from Nano Lopez in second. And the top 4 seem to have pulled away a lot now from the rest of the pack. Matteo Valente holding on nicely to Dylan Estra. Nano Lopez now eyeing up Barta, who's just set a blistering lap, even though he was down in his middle sector. Instead involving car 33, Thierry Malholm, and 68, which was Alain Boucher, going to be investigated by the stewards after this race. So we didn't see the incident, but the stewards have deemed it enough to have a look again and see who was at fault. They may decide no one was at fault, but we will have to see what the stewards decide ahead of race 2, which gets underway tomorrow morning. And it will be Barta on pole position as well for that race. So 11 minutes left on the clock, and Soliane Amrouche there is hunting down Laurent Vutic. A bit wide there. Behind was Craig McClatchy and Walter Rijkaard, taking a bit of an interesting line into turn 5. So he pulled out already. A 1 minute, a 1 second, a 1.3. Make my just making up metrics out. 1.3 from Nano Lopez. And Barta is enjoying himself, I'm sure, out there at the moment. Soliane Amrouche then still chasing down at the moment Laurent Vutic. Soliane Amrouche has lost a place to Laurent Vutic because she was ahead of the gentleman driver and now has to slot in behind. Actually just seeing car number 33 get taken back to the pits outside my commentary box. So Thierry Malholm no longer watching from turn 5 anymore, and the car is back in the paddock. Gilles Dupierre then currently down in 9th and putting pressure on Walter Rijkaard for 8th position. Soliane Amrouche there still battling out with Laurent Vutic. Can't quite do it there into turn 5. And still struggling to get round the gentleman driver car. So good defending then from Laurent Vutic in the Lamo racing car. They're not fighting at the moment for class in terms of... Oh, that's a big spin there, and Gilles Dupierre was lucky not to get taken out there. I think it might have been Walter Rijkaard who loses it into the final corner and goes sideways into turn 15. I'm going to have to check again, but I'm almost certain that was Walter Rijkaard, and Gilles Dupierre nearly got taken out by him. Soliane Amrouche has managed to get past Laurent Vutic in all that time, but Walter Rijkaard has now dropped down to 10th after what could have been quite a scary moment. Laurent Vucic now under pressure from Craig McClatchy, who is just behind him in car number 10 as they go round the left-hander hairpin at turn 5. Craig McClatchy just goes a little bit on the curb there and loses a bit of time. Here's the spin then. So Gilles de Pierre there goes through. Walter Rijkaard. Oh, I mean, that is some good reflexes from Gilles de Pierre and whoever was running behind. I think it was maybe Frederic Boileau. But impressive work from the drivers and quick thinking from Gilles de Pierre as Walter Rijkaard was sideways going into turn 15. So this is your leader, Hugh Barta. We've almost not really spoken about him because he's been leading the way from the start. Had to contend with the safety car, but managed a brilliant restart and managed to pull away now from Nano Lopez, who's over 3 seconds behind. The 19-year-old has got a lot of racing under his belt. He's raced in the FIA Formula 3 Championship in 2023, previously raced as well in the Spanish F4, French F4 Championship. He finished runner-up in both those championships in 2021 and 2022, respectively, and also went on to finish second in 2022 in the Spanish F4 Championship as well. Born in Japan, but races under the Australian flag. And he's also raced and participated, rather, Barta, in the Formula E Berlin rookie test with Maserati MSG Racing. That was back in April 2023, so he's definitely got a lot of experience under his belt. He also races for the Drago team, the racing esports team in iRacing. He grew up in Melbourne, and he's clearly likes racing in this championship too. It's a brilliant championship to get some miles under your belt, and that's exactly what Hugh Barta is doing, and it shows the calibre of this championship and how many people are getting involved when someone like Hugh Barta comes in and helps show us some of the real skill out there. So he's pulled out another second on Nano Lopez. Dylan Estra's dropped back another second from, well, a second from Nano Lopez. So it's all kind of dropped back a little bit at the front. Matteo Valente could be the one that's actually chasing down Dylan Estra at the moment. And that is Hugh Barta, who's having a bit of a lonely race along the start-finish straight there. Nano Lopez just behind, and actually Hugh Barta has taken out another second, and now it's a 5-second lead, which is quite an impressive lead even in these in this championship. Solian Rouge then still in front of Laurent Vucic, and just behind Craig McClatchy has visibly dropped off the pace a little bit out there, but still a solid race for Craig McClatchy, running in 7th at the moment, and Solian Rouge on course, I believe, to get her best result of the season. I will just have to double check that 5th is that, with my various different notes, but for now Solian Amrouche is doing a good job where she is, and like I said, struggled a bit during qualifying and seems to have hooked it up for the race though. But Solian Amrouche is, tell a lie, her best performance so far has been, she's on par to get her joint best. She finished 5th in Paul Ricard in the opening round of the season, and since then has gone to pick up actually pretty much 11th, 10th, 7th, 8th, 7th, 6th and 5th. So plenty of points there, currently sitting on 79 points, down in 6th in the championship. Car number 22 has been given a warning flag, that is Hugh Barta at turn 5 for track limits. Got to be careful with that. You get too many, you get a slap on the wrist and you get a penalty. And so you don't want that, especially when you manage to pull out a 6.5 point lead. 3 minutes left on the clock then. The way it works is wherever the leader is, when the clock ticks down to 0, will dictate if we have another lap or if it's the final lap. And a lap round here is about a 1 minute 42. So depending where Hugh Barta is, Currently coming around turn 5. We might have 3 more laps to go here, I think. We'll have to see there. See how good my maths is. So this is battle a little bit further back, which is Philippe Darroch and Alain Boucher, who Alain Boucher was involved in that issue with Thierry Malholm at the beginning of the race that brought out the safety car. And currently fighting his way back through the pack, but down in 12th at the moment and looking to get round Philippe Darroch, who started just at the back of the pack. Car number 22, Hugh Barta then, setting another fastest lap. And is cruising around there to another win in the championship. That would take him to 5 wins in the championship, which is the most of anyone so far in the championship. Leading the way, obviously. A big haul of points here coming his way. So here he is then, coming across the line. And I would assume, as he comes on 136, oh, it could be close. They always do this to me. They always do this to me. I would assume this is the final lap. And we can all assume together, because if I get it wrong, you get it wrong too. So I believe this will be the final lap. And Hugh Barta currently on course to take another win in the Hoosier Formula Cup. Another dominant performance from the Australian. And I have really enjoyed watching him this season, and I'm glad to have him on the championship, because the rookies at the front, leader entered in the last lap. So I believe, yes, this is the final lap. Bit of a lock up there from Dylan Estra going around the hairpin of turn 5. Not a time to be putting any flat spots on your tyres. You need to finish the race. And Dylan has struggled this weekend. Hopefully we'll be able to have a chat with him somewhere along the line to see what's kind of been happening this weekend. Maybe not a track that suits him as well as the others, but all eyes at the moment on this man, Hugh Barta, who's just making his way around turn 13, around the final moments of this race, and will pick up his 5th win of the season. Let's see if he's going to go into the final lap now. Depends on the timing board, and no, it will be the final lap. So this is the final few moments of the race, and crossing the line, we're going to go for a final lap. That wasn't really... No, checkered flag is out. There we go. I was right. Hugh Barta then takes another win in the Hoosier Formula Cup, and it is a dominating one. He's on pole position for the next race. He was on pole position for this one. He contended with a safety car out there, and issues a little bit with some people putting a lot of pressure on him, but he was pretty calm on the restart and managed to pull out quite a big lead in the end. So wins his 5th race of the season and nearly clears 8.5 seconds clear of Nano Lopez. So really dominant performance. Dylan Estra comes home in 3rd place, a 2.5 behind Matteo Valente. He's in 4th, 5 seconds behind that. Soliane Amrouche, her joint best of the season, in 5th. Laurent Vutic leading the gentleman race in 6th. Winner in class, Craig McClatchy in 7th. 8th is Gilles de Pierre. Frederic Boileau in 9th. Walter Reichardt crosses the line in 10th. Alain Boucher will take the flag at 11th, unfortunately for him. He got tangled up in an issue with Thierry Malholm at the beginning of the race. So Hugh Barta extends his championship lead and does it quite comfortably. So the second race of the Hoosier Formula Cup will get underway tomorrow morning at 11:50 local time. If you're listening in the UK, it's the same time as us here in Portugal. And the final race for the Hoosier Formula Cup will be at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. But good start from the Hoosier Formula Cup Championship. As they all just peel into the pit lane. Barta being waved onwards to the 1, 2, 3 signpost down the end. He's getting used to lining up there now is Barta. Chris Stevens down there, hopefully going to have a little chat with Barta. But you have to say, pretty dominant, taking the win by 8.5 seconds. Not a bad performance from the Australian rookie for Winfield Racing. Nano Lopez second. And tried hard to put the pressure on Barta at the beginning, but came under pressure more with the battle with Dylan Estra. So TS Corsa will be happy with that one, and Formula Motorsport can be pleased with third place as well, but the main prize goes to Barta again for Winfield Racing.
Down here with Barta, our race 1 winner. Tell us, how was that?
Yeah, I mean, what more can you really ask for? Obviously, Leicester Flag win. The start was good enough to hold the lead, and obviously those two were fighting pretty hard. At least from what I could see in the mirrors. And then the safety car got called out, and yeah, basically it was my job to try and get a gap at the start, and come into turn 1 with a bit of breathing room, which seemed like I did. And then, yeah, just put my head down from there.
Got pole position for tomorrow as well, so repeat performance?
Yep, that's the plan.
All right, good man. Good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Let's see if we can have a chat with Nano Lopez. Nano, can we have a quick chat? Yeah. How are you? That was a great battle you had with Dylan in the early stages.
Yeah, it was a good start, but then, yeah, Dylan jumped for me and he got a great start. Yeah, it was a nice battle. Then we had the safety car, and I was hoping to maybe get closer to Barta, but yeah, it wasn't the case. So yeah.
What do we need to do to beat Hugh this weekend?
Improve like half a second. Yeah, we are like far, but yeah, hopefully we can improve to tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, good luck for tomorrow. We look forward to seeing you out again.
Thank you.
Cool. And let's see, where is Dylan Estra? Where's that young? He's over here. Dylan. Hey, can we have a quick word? Great battle with Nano.
Yeah, great battle. Yeah, for the start, he passed me, and after I tried to follow him, but yeah, with the aero, and it's difficult here.
What are you missing this weekend to challenge Nano harder and Hugh as well?
I think a better setup for the qualifying for past Nano this weekend. Yeah.
It did seem stronger in the race than qualifying.
Yeah, the race is really strong because qualifying is not good. So yeah.
Well, good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Well, that's all from down here in Parc Fermé. The Hoosier Formula Cup back out tomorrow morning. Next up here in Portimão, the last race of the day, it is Trophy GT Sprint.
We go.